But, before we jumped into that, there was something that popped up last week. Many things nowadays relate to this fight against communism that we've got in our country. And a lot of people don't like that word. They don't like the word communism. They want to say socialism or progressivism or some other soft word like that. But in fact, we need to just call it what it is. It's communism that we're fighting against in our country, and it's become absolutely pervasive. We've got it everywhere. They've pushed it into the school system. They're trying to push it into our legal system through our laws, and they're trying to dominate your mind. That's what they want to do. They want to dominate and control your mind. They're changing language. That's a big part of it, changing the meaning of language. I saw something out from Ayanna Pressley last week saying that student loan debt is policy violence. Policy violence. Pat George is in there laughing at this. That's what I'm saying. They're trying to shift language. Now, when you misgender someone with pronouns, that's violence, right? When you use words, whatever happened to sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's gone now. Now, words are violence, and as we see in some of the protests, which they call peaceful protests, which are anything but peaceful, we see actual violence is called speech. That's freedom of speech, right? When they actually firebomb federal courthouses and attack people, innocent people, beat them up in the streets, all for political ideologies, political beliefs. That's now called freedom of speech. And then actual speech, actual free speech, that's called violence. So you see, this is the Marxist-Leninist model to change the meaning of words, change the use of language. Remember, language is the currency of thought. So as you speak, that's how you think. And if they can change the way that you speak and force you to accept it, well, then they can change the way that you think slowly and surely. And, of course, they're pushing this out first in the education system. Now they're moving into our primary education system, our elementary, middle, and high school system. Of course, they've dominated the university system for years and years. They've dominated that, the thinking in that. So I wanted to just share something with you, though, because this is going to be appropriate to what we're talking about, and that is the Stop Woke Act that Governor DeSantis, the greatest governor in the United States, by the way, as we say often on the show, but it is true. I've talked to people from other states. They're still dealing with COVID lockdowns. They're still dealing with problems, things that we've gotten beyond because Governor DeSantis actually has followed the science. He actually has listened to real scientists about stuff, and he's got a spine of steel, and he's willing to stand up for Floridians, for all of us, and it's making our state a place that people are flocking to. Everybody wants to come here now. Well, just remember, when you get here to Florida, don't bring the policies that you fled from. Don't bring the kind of people that you voted for up in New York who've ruined that state and other places. Don't bring them down here to Florida. Remember why you came to our state. So one of the things that he's put forward now, and he did a press conference, and that's what we want to share with you because the media certainly will not share this information with you, but he put forward this Stop Woke Act. That is a so-called Stop Woke Act. And I think we need to stop woke, right? Because what is woke? It's cultural Marxism. But let's hear from our governor now.
Now, with the rise of this woke ideology, is an attempt to really delegitimize our history and to delegitimize our institutions. And I view the wokeness as a form of cultural Marxism. They want to tear... They want to it's not just, people say, they're leftists or socialists. It's not just like taxes and all that. Yeah, they do want that, and that's not good. But they really want to tear at the fabric of our society and our culture and things that really we've taken for granted, like the ability of parents to direct the upbringing of their kids. So this is really, really significant. And when you see these things throughout the country where they take down Thomas Jefferson's statue in New York City, where they take down Abraham Lincoln in Massachusetts, where they take George Washington's name off schools in California, that is an attempt to erase history. They want to delegitimize the founding of the country and the institutions, and they basically want to replace it with a very militant form of leftism that would absolutely destroy this country if that ever took hold. And so we have a responsibility to stand for the truth, to stand for what's right, and we're doing that, and we've put more resources and emphasis on teaching civics, on teaching people about American history, but we also have to protect people and protect our kids from some very pernicious ideologies that are trying to be forced upon them all across the country. So earlier this year, I directed the Florida Department of Education to prohibit critical race theory in our K through 12 schools.
Thank God, right? Because that critical race theory is all about divide and conquer. They're poisoning our youth with it now, and they're turning people against each other based on race. Isn't that the definition of racism?
Man, if DeSantis is not on real America's side.
Yeah, he is, right?
Yes.
I mean, and who else is there? There's nobody else.
Really?
Right now. In the whole United States, I don't think there's anybody else standing up for American values, American civic life, like Governor DeSantis is. So no wonder people are flocking to Florida. I was talking to somebody last night. He said, I made it to freedom. He said, I made it across the wall. The snipers were trying to take me out, but I finally made it to freedom, and I'm glad to be here.
I saw a license plate over the weekend from Washington. I said, oh, you're visiting? No, we used to live here. We left, and we had to come back.
Well, so, folks, I hope you know how close it was. I mean, Governor DeSantis almost didn't become our governor, and boy, did we dodge a bullet there. You've got, and see, his support is rising among Floridians. I mean, people see what he's doing, and they're getting behind him 100%, particularly people in the Latino community and Hispanic community. All of those folks are getting behind conservative politics. You see the numbers shifting radically. Why? Because they came from areas that didn't have those kind of politics. They know what happens, and they can see the echoes of history coming here again in the United States of America, of all places. Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.